How do I become a blockchain developer? This is actually a question that's been asked of me from a couple of my viewers who have checked out the tutorials and checked out all the videos on my channel. If you haven't done that yet, go ahead and do that. And they're starting to feel really confident in their abilities as blockchain developers. And they want to know, okay, how can I take this to the next level and actually get paid for doing something that I love? So today I'm going to talk about my top 5 tips on how to become a blockchain developer. So the first thing that you need to do, and this might seem obvious, and don't be offended if this doesn't apply to you just yet, but the first thing you need to do is to be a developer. Blockchain development is not exactly the easiest programming specialty to get into. So, first you're going to need at least a little bit of experience doing some kind of programming. Jumping right into blockchain programming is going to be difficult, although it's not impossible. Thankfully, with blockchain development, the tools that you use are actually pretty standard. If you want to build a decentralized application, you're definitely going to be using JavaScript and HTML and CSS and kind of all your standard web development tools. And all your interactions with the blockchain will actually be done probably using JavaScript and using something like Web3.js or Ethers.js or one of the great Ethereum JavaScript libraries that are out there, or whatever JavaScript library is out there for your preferred blockchain. In terms of the back end, we're going to see things like Python, we're going to see Go in the case of Ethereum, C++, really anything is fine as long as you have some software development experience or know-how, and especially if you're doing dApps, just your standard HTML and CSS stuff is totally fine. Tip number 2, you're going to want to get experience using different cryptocurrencies. So spend some time, check out all the wallets, check out the node software, check out the masternode software, and check it out for a whole bunch of different cryptocurrencies that interest you. Play with the wallets, actually send some transactions. Check out the block explorers for the different blockchains and projects that interest you. And a block explorer is basically a web application that analyzes the blockchain and gives you information on what transactions were included in each block and what sort of metadata is attached to those transactions, what sort of metadata is attached to the block, like who mined it, how long did it take to get mined, things like that. Check out things like the Ethereum gas station, that shows you information on how much gas is being used per block. Look at what the differences are between all the different cryptocurrencies so you can get kind of a holistic understanding of the entire ecosystem before you dive in. All right, tip number 3, join the cryptocurrency community, and especially the developer community. Someone asked me a question the other day. Hey, I've been an Ethereum developer for a while now, but I don't really know any other Ethereum developers other than the folks who work at my company. So where can I go and hang out and find other developers? Because, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook. All everyone talks about is Ethereum is dead. No, Ethereum is the best. The price is $1,000. The price is $100. And, if you're a developer, you probably care about those things, but that's not all you care about, right? You care a lot about the technology, and you believe in this whole concept of like a decentralized world computer. So where do you go to find discussion like that? Well, first of all, Gitter, I think, is a great application. And if you've never used Gitter, basically what it is it's kind of Slack-like chat rooms that are based around Git repositories. So all your favorite projects that are open source, basically you can go to those pages on GitHub, and there's probably an associated Gitter, Gitter, chat room with that repository. And if you go in there, a lot of times that's where the open source developers who actually make that project hang out and communicate with each other and work on their projects. So check out Gitter. Also Telegram. Some projects use Telegram instead. So you can find some developers on there. Or Slack channels, Discords. There are a couple of Facebook groups that are focused around blockchain development. They're okay. There's some Reddit groups as well. There's some individual forums. But go ahead and just get to know the community, join in the conversation, see what people are talking about. and join in and add your voice to the discussion. So along those lines, my tip number 4, once you start to get confident, try participating in some of these open source projects that make up the cryptocurrency ecosystem. So go ahead and get on GitHub, and if you've never contributed to open source before, if you're not really familiar with GitHub and things like that, go ahead and look at the issues on the GitHub projects for some of your favorite, cryptocurrencies, and see if there's anything in there that you think you might be able to help with. A lot of times, there might be stuff that isn't even that technical. It could be like incorrect documentation. Could be people that are just having questions and maybe you know the answer and you can help them out. Go ahead and join in there and see how you can contribute to your favorite projects. I do hiring for blockchain developers, and I see tons of resumes, and they vary widely in terms of their quality. And when I get into the interview, and especially the technical interview, and I start asking people questions, I have found in my experience that people who have open source experience, they do great in the technical interviews because they've gotten into like the nitty gritty of how these different projects work. And having that deep understanding really allows you to have a solid foundation to like answer any question that you might get in a technical interview. And you're gonna have those when you become a blockchain developer, trust me. Also, when I'm just sifting through the resumes, if I see someone has open source experience, that's a huge plus. I'm definitely gonna wanna talk to that person. So tip number 4, participate in open source. And then finally, tip number 5, get educated. That's it. It's as simple as that. Get educated on blockchain. Don't call yourself a blockchain developer if you've only been programming for a couple weeks. There's so much free content out there. There's tutorials on YouTube. All the different projects have tutorials. You can find tutorials on Medium. You can find, like I said, if you join the Gitters, if you go on GitHub and look at the projects, you're gonna just learn a lot about how these projects really work under the hood. So make sure that you get yourself educated, make sure that you know what you're talking about. There's a couple good books out there, although there aren't that many yet. But definitely check out those books. I highly recommend the Princeton Bitcoin book. I think that's what it's called, or at least that's what it's known as. I'll put a link in the description so you can check that out. It's a really solid foundation for all cryptocurrency knowledge, not just Bitcoin. Just get educated. And also, just a quick note here about these blockchain coding boot camps that are coming out. In my experience, I have not seen people have much luck with coding boot camps. And in the past couple of years, a lot of these coding boot camps have ended up folding. And in some cases, they took their students' money and things like that. So if you do one, go with a reputable organization. I'm not going to comment because I don't really know about which organizations are reputable and which aren't. But I will say this. There's so much free content out there. If you feel like you don't have that money to spend, and if you feel like you don't necessarily benefit from a super structured type of program, I wouldn't waste your time. I would just go out there, check out all the free content, and like I said, just follow these 5 tips, and you'll be on your way to becoming a fantastic blockchain developer. So, did you find this video useful? If you did, give me a like, give me a subscribe so other people can find this video, and stay tuned for more blockchain development tutorials, more tips and tricks. I'm almost at 100 subscribers. Maybe I'll do a 100 subscriber special. Let me know what type of content you'd like to see, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. If you found this video useful, please give me a like and a subscribe. That will help other people like you to be able to find this video and get the information they need. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.